It came from the stars, a burst of sound, too perfect to be noise, too specific to be random. It was sharp, deliberate, and fleeting. It traveled across light years, pierced through space, and landed here, with us. For 72 seconds, the universe spoke.
6 E Q U J 5.
And then, silence. Deafening, relentless silence. It wasn't from us. It wasn't a mistake. It came once, and never again. This is the mystery of the WOW signal, the most tantalizing clue we've ever received, that we might not be alone. 1. August 15, 1977. The night the sky changed. At the Big Ear Radio Observatory in Ohio, astronomers weren't stargazing. They were listening. The telescope, built in the shadow of Cold War urgency, scanned the stars not for beauty, but for contact. Each night, reels of paper churned out the coded output from computers, rows of numbers measuring radio intensity from space. Astronomer Jerry Eman had been decoding this cosmic noise for years. But that night, buried in columns of dull static, something jumped out. A signal unlike anything he'd seen before. It was 30 times stronger than background noise. It contacted just as the telescope's beam passed over a specific point in the sky, the constellation Sagittarius. Eman circled the signal, 6 EQUJ5, and wrote a single word next to it. Wow! That hand-scribbled note would define one of the greatest space mysteries of the 20th century. 2. The forbidden frequency. The signal came in at 1,420.456 megahertz, a frequency so specific it almost seemed intentional. That number might seem arbitrary, but to astrophysicists, it's sacred. It's the natural emission frequency of neutral hydrogen, the most abundant element in the universe. It's the cosmic equivalent of hello. In fact, this region of the spectrum is so vital to interstellar communication that it's protected internationally. No one is allowed to broadcast there. Not military, not satellites, not even scientists. It's known as the water hole, a peaceful zone between hydrogen and hydroxyl frequencies, the chemical components of water. A quiet band in a noisy universe. If someone or something wanted to be heard, this is exactly where they'd transmit. And they did, for exactly 72 seconds. 3. 72 seconds of perfection. Why 72 seconds? Because of how the Big Ear telescope worked. It didn't track objects. Instead, Earth's rotation moved the sky across its beam. As a point in space drifted through its beam, the telescope had one chance to catch anything transmitting. The WOW signal began faint, grew stronger, peaked, then faded away. Exactly as expected from a stationary source in space. It wasn't a burst. It wasn't scattered noise. It was clean, bell-shaped, and perfect. The kind of signal you'd expect from a beacon. But when astronomers aimed back at the exact same point, it was gone. 4. The search that never ends. The scientific community was stunned. SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, immediately jumped in. Telescopes across the US and around the world were pointed towards Sagittarius. But the skies remained silent. Not once in more than 40 years has the WOW signal ever repeated. And yet, that only deepened its mystery. Some argued it might have been a one-time transmission, like Earth's own Arecibo message, broadcast once in 1974. A single shout into the void, hoping someone would hear. Others speculated that we caught a sliver of a transmission. Maybe it was ongoing, but we missed the rest. What if we tuned in, just as it ended. 5. What could it have been? Not everyone believed it was alien. A now extinct theory pointed to comets, like 266P Christensen, passing through the telescope's field. But critics quickly shot that down. Comets don't emit strong, narrow-band radio signals, and certainly not at the hydrogen line. Others suspected military interference, a spy satellite, a classified transmission. But again, these are forbidden frequencies, and the signal came from space, not from Earth's direction. All explanations began to feel like educated guesses, trying to fill a gap science couldn't yet close. And only one possibility remained on the table. Someone was trying to say hello. 6. The message we missed. Here's what makes this story so haunting. We never recorded the signal. Not in audio, not in waveform. All we have is the paper printout, a few letters and numbers, and a single scribbled word in red ink. Wow. The data can't be reanalyzed. The source can't be revisited. And the silence that followed? Unbroken. If it was a message, we didn't answer. And if they never try again, we may never know who tried to speak. It's like finding a message in a bottle, but never seeing the ocean it came from. 7. What if it was real? Let's say it was a message. What would that mean? It means we're not alone. It means someone out there knew how to reach us, knew what frequency to use. It means they tried, and maybe gave up. And it raises a chilling question. What if the first message we ever received was also the last? What do we do with that? Do we keep listening? Keep broadcasting? Or do we accept that our call was missed? 6EQUJ5. So what was the wow signal? A glitch in the void? A natural echo? Or the strangest greeting ever sent? We may never know. But maybe you have a theory. Was it cosmic coincidence, or something far more profound? Tell us what you think right now in the comments. If you crave stories where science brushes against the unknown, where wonder meets fear, and where mystery still rules the stars, subscribe to the Hushed Unease. Because out here, even the silence has meaning.